All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hopefully you got away from the computer and got out, maybe, went out into nature or did something outside. Had a relaxing weekend. Maybe even got a little studying in. See, Night, Terry, Polly. Good to have you here. Good morning, good morning. It was definitely a blessed weekend. It always is. Every day is a blessing. Charts are looking fairly interesting. I don't know if you all are seeing anything, but there's always a template. There's always a grand scheme. And like I was talking about on Friday, even if it's not the best looking chart ever, as long as I have a strong and clear thesis in mind, that's all I really need. Hey, John, good morning. Letting some people flow in here, and then we're going to get going. In fact, we're going to get going right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to try and get this mic close to my face. Can everybody hear me okay? Get that in there. All right. This is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express supply warranty of any kind, including words of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please feel free. Pause the stream, read through this. Fantastic. We'll get rid of that. All right, good morning, everybody. Quick reminder, brief reminder. The market only does three things. And this idea of whenever the market breaks out, I'm sure you've all heard of break and retest systems and things like that, and they all sound and seem really great. And because they kind of are, in a way, because that's how the market moves, right? When it goes up, when it breaks levels, it always comes back to either try and get this guy at break even or try and stop these people out, or in reality, what it's really doing, it's testing waters, okay? Because the charts are driven by human behavior and by human psychology, whenever levels are broken, this is going to be a level of high speculation, an area where if Shaky's in here, he would say, this is what makes markets, all right? You have an opinion, I have an opinion, they have an opinion. We all have opinions about what it's going to do or could do. So whenever this breaks, people are thinking, okay, it's going to go up, it could go down, maybe there's some profit taking, whatever. All right, but anyways, comes back down, stops these people out. It could induce shorts, whatever. All right, and then consolidate and continue if that's what it's going to do. The whole point of me talking about all this is just that whenever one side of a market is tested, it tends to go back to the other extreme just to try and see, hey, is the market going to be capable of going in that direction? And then you can start to introduce all that other stuff, right? 3 pushes, 3 levels, all that stuff. So if we're looking at the NASDAQ, right, we've had multiple weeks of going up and away. And then 2 weeks ago, they came down and they broke the previous week's low for the first time in a while and closed in breakout down. And then that leads us to now, today. Last week, we had an up-moving market. So one of the things, whenever a extreme is broken, and then we're looking at, this is the most relevant level because that's what was broken. On a weekly scale, this becomes the most relevant level. And then now, how did it get back to the level? Okay, we've had peak 1 and peak 2. And we're coming up for possibly peak 3. Either to put in a higher high that could potentially fail, or maybe even a lower high. I really don't know. I don't know. That could not even, maybe it breaks out and just keeps going up, which is also, a possibility or probability. All I can do is say, hey, I've got a series of setups that I'm looking for, and let's see if it's going to present. Shaky, good morning. I was actually just chatting about you. I don't know if you were in here. Talk about speculation about, you always say that, this is what makes markets. Anyways, so we've had that lower low. Do I have a signal day coming into today? We've got breakout day 1, breakout day 2, and then on Friday, breakout day 3 right here. All right. So after breakout day 3, I know what to look for because that's just what you look for, right? I look for a lower low. I look for the market to put in some kind of lower low, potentially having the front side of a move been broken. So this front side of this move has not been broken, and that's okay. I can still trade this if it were to present a certain way. Looks like we've made higher highs and higher lows. It looks like maybe we triggered the previous day's high up here, which could have been an indication. So we got a high here. Let's just follow this up. Okay, internal structure on the day. Higher high, higher low, to a higher high, to a lower low. And this is where we're at. And then they've came back up. And what could be maybe a stair step, 1, 2, 3. And then there's the engulfment. And we're 9 minutes away, from the open. All right, so that sets up the thesis for me. Other side of the trade would be, hey, Cam, it doesn't have to go down. It's doing the right things right now, but that does not mean it has to go down. Could also be a higher high, and then they come down for the stop hunt to the low that fails, goes sideways. Maybe it's going to go up. All right, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my head, and then I'm going to move forward. There we go. I'm going to do this just to give myself a little reminder. And I found myself not giving you all annotations lately. My bad. There we go. All right, 3 days of breakouts. And again, just the overall thesis, in case anybody has joined in a bit late. The big thesis being, this could have been on a weekly scale, a lower low, and this could be 3 peaks back to the high, 3 levels of rise back to the high. If the high fails or they put in a lower high, 2 thumbs up. Good stuff, right? Also, we closed in breakout, so I need to project this level across just to remind myself, hey, Cameron, they're going up. Market go up currently, right? It's not about what it could do or what it's telling me it should do or whatever. Currently, right now, as you and I are speaking together, it has been going up. It has been breaking out and going up towards the upside. So I need to keep that in the back of my head because you don't want to go against something. It's all about the motion of the ocean and the flow of the waves. I want to be on the down wave. Let's get on the down wave. All right, so I'm going to put this as the breakout level. There we go. We're going to go to US 30. We got 7 minutes. 009. Okay. Good morning. All right, US 30. Now, this is interesting. Had some notes from last week. Same thing. We've got the lower low. They popped back up, gave a first red day. Instead of going down on the following day, they can continue to consolidate, really, and just, high, low. Thought maybe this was a lower low. It was a lower low because they went back to the high here. And then you get the extreme, fast move down on Thursday, which we were a part of on the Russell. And then yesterday on Friday, instead of continuing this move on Friday, right? We had a breakout day on Thursday. And then instead of continuing the move down on Friday, we've consolidated and we've had an inside day. So whenever we get an inside day, what is that information telling us? What does an inside bar actually mean to me? Does it mean anything? Well, to me, it means that whenever one side is triggered, the other side then has money. Market only does 3 things: breakout, trend, reverse, or stay in a trading range. Right now, we're in between Thursday's high and low, and we're on the inside. And that's fine. This inside bar, whenever the high is triggered, automatically to me, we now have put money back at the other side of the range. This would be for a reversal setup off the high of the day, going back for the previous day's low. Okay. That's one side of the trade. The other side of the trade could be if in a certain type of template, which we do not have currently right meow, actually we kind of do. where we have peak formation high and a lower low, and they've pumped it back up. You get an inside bar. If this breaks down, this is beautiful. Peak formation high, inside bar, inside bar. We've got people trapped up high to go back for the low. However, you can also have this in the other direction as well, which is what I was kind of trying to say. You'll get these big breakouts to the high and then an inside bar. It's basically just like a pullback day or a pause day. And then you have continuation. And a really great way to study this is exactly how I used to study with the webinar groups, is you can just go on any chart. It doesn't matter if it was a 1 second chart, honestly. You could do it on any time frame. That's why I keep screaming into the mic repeatedly over and over again every single day about how the market is fractal. And you can go on any chart and just find inside bars and just look at the behavior of each one of those bars. So for example, we have a down move here that led to an inside bar. Did it trigger both sides of the range? No. It turned into a breakout and then a follow-through continuation that turned into an expansion of a range towards the upside, right? Which is all very interesting. It just kind of helps you to better understand the templates and why they exist and what to kind of look for. Anyways, let's go on to gold. Oh, gold. All right, so gold has... I'm going to get rid of all this. There we go. It's hard to see. That is disgusting. That looks terrible. Let's do this. Okay, it looks like we had a breakout close on Thursday that then failed on Friday. And actually, it failed right here. So this was day one. Not quite a first red day. But kind of the same behavior here. Consolidation at the high, potentially level 3. They really broke down today, didn't they? And this is the first day of breakout going down. I don't think I'm going to have a setup on this. I just saw one of you say they broke the previous week's low. Yeah. Looks like they've triggered it. I just don't know if I actually have a setup. That's the problem. There was a lot of movement here in the Asian session. It looks like a little bit of follow through maybe in London. My problem with this is now the swings are getting so close together. We're really far away from this. So let me just talk about what, gold has left the station, right? The train has left, choo-choo. It's chugging along. All right, the real setup would have been right over here. This is the one that I love to look for and see, is when they trigger the low, they pop it back up, and then there's follow through in the session. Count me in. Yep. Awesome. The other setup is whenever they break out and then the bottom of the box becomes the top of the box, they pull back, and then we see follow through continuation like that. That's really the template that I like. This template's great if there's 3 sessions of breakout like this. This really isn't 3 sessions of breakout, but whenever there's 3 sessions of breakout like this and the market is really overextended, I will trade this. 3 peaks down and then a reversal strong push back up towards the previous day's level. I will trade that, but this probably not. NASDAQ and US 30 best at the moment. AK, yeah, that's what I'm kind of... Let's check the Russell. I think gold can be put on the back burner. 930. All right, gold. This is the Russell here. We've got a peak formation high, peak formation low. Really signaling a good amount of consolidation up high here on the Russell. This was obviously that. Is John still? I wonder, did you hold it for the... Did you end up holding it for that previous day's low? I know you were trying to. But what a fantastic move we had on Thursday. Yeah, we get an inside bar. Got out at the close. Hey, that's still a fantastic trade though, right? Goodness gracious, right? That thing was scooting along. All right, inside bar. They have not triggered any of the levels today. I don't think I can trade this either. We're just extremely on the inside. If they would have triggered the previous day's high, I think I could have been okay. But they didn't, so I'm gonna hold out on the Russell. And then we got oil. I've got some notes up here. Oil's been going down, down, down. Thankfully, right? Get those gas prices down at the pump. But also looking for 3-day setups. This is an extended run. Possibly or potentially a reset of the high. And a peak formation high back here from last Wednesday. And a follow through, a continuation. This higher high here, especially if they would have closed out here, you know, it could have been the beginning of a 3-day setup. We got an inside bar. It's like another day of attempts to go lower. If we get like a first green day or something like that, I would be very happy to be trading this just because of this back over here. All right, so maybe a couple more days down. Maybe there's a higher high. They attempt to make a lower low. They come down. They put in some peaks, get a first green day. Even if maybe they even trigger the previous day's high. All right, looking for 3-day setups. As of today, though, do I have a setup? No. I don't think I do. I think I need to wait. So, AK, I think you're 100% correct. I think that indexes are going to be my only option for today. Yeah, exactly, AK. It needs to overlap. I totally agree. It's nice to see this, and then you get a signal day, and then you could trade that instead of just, this looks like it should go back up today. Because you see this a lot where, you know, this happens, they continue to go lower, and then instead of a retest of the low, it actually breaks and keeps going, which could happen. It absolutely could keep happening. And, you know, to be fair, for the sake of gas prices at the pump, I wouldn't be mad if it did. This looks decent. Let's get this up here. We got the NASDAQ up here. We've got US 30 with all my beautiful annotations, right? I mean, holy cow. You don't see them any better than this. I saw somebody on Discord today. They drew a truck around like the entire BTC chart, which is really creative. There's some really creative people out there. It's funny. All right, 5-minute chart. We're 3 minutes into the open. Yeah, I don't trade BTC either, AK, but I know that a lot of people do, and I do think I just thought the chart that they drew was funny. All right, I think I will actually put oil up here. Just because it is so pumped up. Just kind of keep an eye on it. Yeah, beautiful annotations. Heck yeah. I mean, lines are as straight as can be. I mean, perfect ovals here. Yeah. It's looking good. Do you enter at 10 a.m. sharp? It's a guideline, okay? 10 a.m. is a guideline for me. And it's not even 10 a.m. for me. It's 9:30. I like to enter after 9:30, and whether that be 9:35. There are some very rare occurrences where I'll get in like right at 9:30. It's a little scary, so I don't try. I try not to do that as much, just because the amount of volatility at 9:30 is a little. I would rather just wait to be sure. But yeah, 9:35, 9:40. If I don't do 9:40, like 45 minutes into an hour, yeah, after 10, we start pushing into like 10:15 though, and I still haven't taken a trade. I start feeling a little strange. Yeah, Nipsey, I'm not saying it's bad by any means. Don't let me freak you out. If you think this is right, then it's right. Let's see if this bad boy follows through. If we start letting some shorts out of this thing, we get a strong push down towards the low of the day. That would be ideal. Looks like maybe it's struggling to get down there. Yeah, Paulie, my fault. I really should specify. Yes, I'm talking about and looking at the NASDAQ. And I am in on a very small starter position on the NASDAQ. I have shorted pretty much at the top of this bar. And on a starter. So if they stop me out on this one, it's not going to hurt at all. Okay. It will just be a... I started to add, started to go okay. And I've got some places in mind for an add-in if it follows through. Yeah, and it very well could be, Jay. Very well could be. $9.38. We've got 2 minutes now until the next bar, the next 5-minute bar. And it's no longer looking very good. I'm looking at a 1-minute chart right now, and it is starting to drag the shorts a bit higher. And actually, it's a bit of a inverse head and shoulders on a micro scale if you look at it. There's a left shoulder, there's a head, there's a right shoulder, there's your neckline, and there's your breakout. So this is looking to be not really that great for me. And that's okay. That's why I get in with a starter. That being said, everything here was set up well, right? We've got the lower low, the 3 legs to the high, and breakdown and potential follow through and continuation here at 9:30. 3 days of breakouts. So I'm good with that. I'll take that. I'll take the hit. It could. Yeah, it absolutely could. Shaky says, I think you're okay. I mean, maybe. We're pulling up pretty strong, though. these bars are, there's little to no overlap in the bars. There's a good chance that this is going to turn into a breakout of this bar. But we'll see. All right, US 30 falling off of the map. NASDAQ continuing to pull higher. NASDAQ is the one that I am short. Very well. RD5? 5 what? It can do crazy things before 10, yeah? Sure can. But it can do crazy things after 10. It can do crazy things all the time. Yeah, probably. More than likely, right? And the way that this has been pulling back up immediately, right? We have a breakdown and then an immediate taking it away from the shorts. My last week was pretty good. My last week was really good. See 9:43. So we've got 15 minutes to the new hour. All right, so I'm going to take the stop out on that that starter position there. See if we can't. If it does flip back around, I'd be willing to get back in, but right now it's looking like maybe they were trying to grab some short before going higher, which was me. Let's see. Gold's all the way down low, doing some stuff. US 30 looks like they're about to close this 15-minute bar, kind of like what it's looking like here. So we're coming into a new 15-minute bar. And check Forex Factor real quick. Just double check. Yeah, it's a no news Monday. We are into this new 15-minute bar. This is what the last one looks like. Really need to see some shorts start making money. We've got this, the way that they've broken over here. They came out of consolidation 1, 2, 3. It kind of seems like maybe they're holding it so that the shorts can't make any money over here. So if we start closing bars kind of below this spot here, that'd be nice. I think that'd be a lot more high probability. I don't know. I kind of feel like US 30 is already left. And this is also came down once, big bar twice, come down for 3. Maybe it does, but I don't know if I really care for it. The lack of willingness to go down is just, I mean, that's really all I need to wait for, though, is just some kind of follow through or continuation pattern. You know, maybe this was the initial trap to go lower, and then if it rolls over again, I would say, okay, they did 3 peaks, they broke down for the first time, and this was the trap. They try to go back to the high, can't get back to the high. If the high fails, basically they put in a lower high, that'd be good. And that would make me a lot more confident, I think, to get in. The reason I got in over here was because I took this as the first consolidation and this as the continuation of that. And of course, I can't predict the future. So, you know, all I can do is say, hey, this looks decent, and let's try it out. Oh yeah, they just keep on pulling back and going up. Meanwhile, US 30 continuing to follow through. So maybe I've just chose wrong. I chose the wrong pair because this had the exact same consolidation, but US 30 has just followed through. And that's okay. Yeah, Samir. AK, the weekly level was broken last week. Yeah, last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago. We had the peak formation from Friday. And then the false break was Thursday of last week. And then they tried to trade back up into it. Very nice, Sam. Cool. Anything can happen. Absolutely. It's all about building a good thesis and then executing when appropriate. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to get rid of this. I know that they're beautiful. I know those annotations are perfect. You've never seen better? I got to get rid of them. It must be done. Wow. The Dow making a move. Saying the S&P looks a little bit cleaner. Eight minutes to the new hour. Like a little inside bar for me. Maybe 1, 2, 3 inside bar. Maybe the high of the breakout fails. We close back down lower than this bar's high. Time frame really doesn't matter. It's just a preference of, what you can see all the bars on the best. I use the 15-minute chart. I could be using the 1 hour though. The most important part is just looking at the previous day's high and low and yesterday's close and things like that. So if you see the bars best on a 15-minute chart, great. If you see them best on a 1 hour, great. Whatever. It really doesn't matter. I'd like the 15, and then I just do my internal levels on a 5 and trade on a 5. Okay, let's see a closure back on the inside of this bar's high, because this would be a 1, 2, 3 back up, and the breakout of this bar would fail. If it continues to make lower lows and lower highs, then great. I also need the bar to close that way. Preferably. Ooh, that's a lot of short trapping behavior. Let's see. I'm looking at a 1 minute. We've got some big up close bars here. We got this little inverse head and shoulders, a micro. There's the left shoulder, there's the head, there's the right shoulder. And a breakout And now they've broken down. This is a pretty big bar, though. So if they break out of this bar back up towards the high and start allowing the longs back into profit, that's a problem. For shorts, anyways. And also, I've seen this before where, US 30 will make its move, other indexes will consolidate, US 30 will reverse, and then the others will follow suit in the continuation in that direction. I don't use that stuff. I don't use correlations and things like that. Whatever chart I'm trading is the chart that I'm trading. Yeah, there goes gold. Might be setting up for that 3-session reversal back for the money. Seems like maybe there's something else going on. But the price movements aren't correct. If we were waiting for this to... Let me just show you. So this big down move, right? This is the biggest down close bar on the entire 1-minute chart. And then you get the little peak formation low, right? The little inverse head and shoulders down here that rallies to a higher high, which could have failed. And it tried to. But every time we get a down close bar, it's immediately taken away. And then they continue to drag the market higher. So that tells me I'm on the wrong side. I'm looking for the wrong side. Does that mean I go long? No. It just means that, hey, you really should probably relax with the short. Now, if they start allowing these people to make money, then it's different, right? If they start allowing this guy to make money, this guy is to make money, maybe it's just a retest before the follow-through. But that's very different, right? Compared to the current condition, the current things that are happening right now is trap shorts move higher. Trap shorts move higher. Trap shorts move higher. So why would I be in line with that? That's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of silly. And it's a no news Monday. We might be expecting a little too much out of it. Let's see here. What is the rest of the news? What's the rest of the week look like? All right, tomorrow looks like we've got some U.S. news, 8:30. It's pretty big news. So we've got Thursday, we've got PPI. And then Friday, retail sales. So we've got a decent news week, kind of spread out on the back half of the week. Actually, it's kind of sprinkled in because we've got the front half of the week, a pretty big news announcement tomorrow. And then on the back half of the week, we've got some pretty big news announcements as well. So maybe we'll just consolidate until then. US 30. You always hear me ranting and raving about these pens. They pen down, they penned up. This pen is the low of the day. They went down, they broke out 1, 2, 3. Now they've engulfed. Who's trapped? Not quite that guy yet. Oh, wow. Even down here, you can see it. Drive to the low, drive to the low, drive to the low. I think I'm going to hold my horses. I don't think I want to do any of this anymore. Anyways, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a shorter one. This is it. This is all I've got. My setups aren't showing up, and I'm not going to sit here and wait. NASDAQ was, I think, my best option. And maybe it'll still pop up around 10:30 or so. But I'm just not comfortable anymore. No news Monday, kind of consolidated. Looked like it was going to follow through, and it didn't. My best setups. I really love these where market's been going up. And then they trigger previous day's low. Maybe even give a first red. Or maybe even break out day one. And then the following day triggers previous day's low again, pops up with just a little bit, and then rolls over. This is why if the trade doesn't come before 10:30, I usually just leave because it gets so, what is the word I'm looking for, like monotonous. It just things will go into ranges and just be like this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all tomorrow. 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, ready to go, ready to trade. I really just didn't see much, and I'm not going to hold you all here, and I'm not going to hold myself here waiting around for it. I'm just going to come back tomorrow, and hopefully things are set up a little bit better. All right, 9:15 tomorrow, ready to trade. I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.